The Vanguard Enforcers have explored all possibilities. They chased after the renegades of House Orlok, then turned to the corpse grinders and to the nines of House Escher. Dead ends. The focus now pivots to the House of Shadows, the orchestrators of deceit. Mr. Black agrees to meet with Captain Solidus. With no trust existing between these two, both gangs are prepared to silence the other. Mr. Black doesn't show, and the Vanguard spread out in search. Welcome back to Shadows of Primus and episode 10 of our Dominion campaign. We're officially starting the second half of the campaign where gangs will be able to challenge territories owned by other gangs. As we look at the campaign table, House Delaque sits at 3-0 while the Enforcers are at 1-2. All gangs were given 250 credits to bolster their forces during the down week. The Enforcers added several fighters, a patrolman named Spades with a bolt gun, another patrolman named Fury with a bolt gun, a rookie patrolman to replace Weasel with an Enforcer shotgun, and also another rookie to replace Lockdown named Big Chungus. There were some advancements, such as Captain Solidus increasing his weapon skill. They also purchase and distribute photolumens to fight in the dark. They depart today with 9 total fighters and a total wealth of 1250. The Dark Syndicate also add fighters, but I am capped at 10 physical fighters for these guys while I wait on the new release. A ganger, Shadow, joins the ranks with a web pistol and web gauntlet. Numerous fighters add photon flash grenades, photo goggles, and gun shrouds. They also add a rogue Doc as a hanger-on. They depart with 11 total fighters and a wealth of 1730. In this battle, the Vanguard Enforcers are challenging the Dark Syndicate of House Delaque for their Ash Gate. This is 2d6 times 10 credits and would serve a major blow to the organization's income. The mission today is Downtown Dust Up. Crews will be random D3 plus 4. Both gangs roll up for 7 fighters. For the Vanguard, 2-time gets the call, Captain Solidus, Fury, Q-Ball, Spades, Big Chungus, and Hawk. Wax and Rampage will be out. For the Dark Syndicate, Shadow, Midnight, the Rogue Doc, Stretch, Severus, Raven, Snake Eyes, and Onyx will fight. Mr. Black, Sinfall, Sinister, and Darkside slip back into the shadows. Fighters can deploy anywhere in this one as long as they are 6 inches away from another fighter, friend or foe. There will be 7 hivers present as well. These hive dwellers are treated as fighters and will react when certain things happen near them. They will also move in the end phase. The battle ends when no fighters are left on the battlefield. If at least half of the hivers are taken out of action, the game is a draw. Otherwise, victory goes to the gang left standing. Starting crews for the Vanguard is 935 and 850 for the Dark Syndicate. I will once again be taking the boys in blue while my son prepares his bag of tricks. Both sides get 2 tactics cards with the Vanguard selecting Lucky Shot and Take the Initiative. The Dark Syndicate have selected Dancing Shadows and Over Here. Turn 1 is coming up next. Turn 1 priority roll is coming out now. The Enforcers with a 3, House Delaque with a 2, and Hawk is going to lead off, taking a sniper rifle shot at Shadow. Doesn't want that web pistol getting any closer. He normally hits on a 4. He aims down to a 3. The cover and the infrascope make this a 4-up, and the shot rings out, and it is going to hit Shadow, and it looks like an ammo check will be required here, 4-up. And that is going to be failed. That weapon will be out of ammunition. Strength 4 against Toughness 3 is a 3-up wound roll, which fails. A hiver within 12 inches of the shot will roll out to see if anything happens. On a 3 or a 4, he does nothing. And then we move to Snake Eyes as he uses his first action to move. His second will be to fire his auto gun, targeting 2-time, and he will need a 4-up to hit. The shot hits 2-time, he goes down pinned, an ammo check is required, and that will be a 4-up, and it looks like that is going to be good. And then Strength 3, Toughness 3, 4 is needed to wound. He is going to be wounded An armor save, flak armored undersuit is a 5-up. No AP on this weapon. That is failed. An injury die is rolled out, and he is out of action. So two-time, new to the Enforcers, did not even have a chance to pull the trigger, immediately taken out of action, and rolling up a D66, he was hit in the head, and he dies. Snake Eyes credited with the kill for House Delaque, and it looks like the House of Shadows are off to a great start. The shot rings out near a Hiver, and we roll up a D6. On a 3 or a 4, nothing happens. Next up for the Enforcers, Cue Ball is going to take a shot with a crack grenade down at Severus. Not giving any cover here. You can completely see the model. Base hits on a 4. He is going to aim that down to a 3. And the shot will miss without any hesitation, immediately using the Lucky Shot Tactics card and re-rolling those dice back out. That will turn into a hit, and it's strength 6 against toughness 3, so anything but a 1 to wound, that will do a wound. AP -2 cuts right through the armor, so we roll out an injury die, and it looks like it is going to be an out of action for Severus, so the Vanguard Enforcers immediately strike back blood for blood. We roll up a D66 on Severus, and it is going to be a 32, which is Grievous, and then a few Hivers we're going to roll to see if they react, as the shot did happen within 12 inches. The first will take no action, and then the second here, rolling up for them, that is no action as well. Back over to House Delaque, Raven uses an action to move. The second action is going to be to target Solidus with his long rifle, normally hitting on a 3, and we're not giving any cover here as he can fully see the model. So just needing a straight 3 to hit, and that shot is going to be good, and Solidus is going to go down pinned. It is strength 4, toughness 3. 3s are needed to wound, and that will do a wound. Armor save taken, AP -1 is a 6-up save. That is going to be failed, and he will take a wound. And once again, all Hivers within 12 inches will react here. The first one is a 3, so that is no action. There is another Hiver down at the bottom within 12 inches, rolling up for him as well. That is a 5, so that Hiver will become broken. We'll move him as appropriate on the scatter dice. And then there's another Hiver within 12 inches here, also becoming broken. And we'll roll up a scatter and move him as appropriate as well, moving back to the Enforcers for their next activation. And that next activation will come from Big Chungus, targeting at midnight with his stub gun just outside of 6 inches. He does decide to aim with his first action. Normally hits on a 5. He is in partial cover. That aim takes it back down to a 5. The shot misses, and we go back over to the House of Shadows. First, we got to see if any Hivers react. The first one on a 4 here will do nothing. And then we are going to roll up for another here, and this Hiver is going to become broken. The next fighter to activate will be Onyx, uses his first action to move and his second to fire his auto gun at Cue Ball. We are giving partial cover here, and it is in short range, so needs a 4 to hit, and that will do so. And it is strength 3, toughness 3, 4 needed to wound, and that will cause a wound. Cue Ball goes down pinned. Layered flak armor with an armored undersuit is a 4-up save, not getting the benefit of that shield in the front. And he looks like he will take a wound, so an injury dice will be rolled out here. It is a flesh wound. Cue Ball goes down pinned. We then roll for initiative. He is near the rail, so that gives him a +1, needing a 3, and he is staying put. We then roll for Hivers within 12 inches. There is one right here, and on this too, they will react, and they will target the closest fighter, and that will be Onyx, targeting him with his stub gun. Now the Hivers have a weapon skill of 5, but close range with a stub gun brings it to a 3, and this will strike Onyx. He goes down pinned. Strength 3, toughness 3, a 4 is needed to wound. He takes a wound. Mesh armor is a 5-up save. There's no AP. He ends up failing this save, and an injury die is going to be rolled out for him as he is taken down to 0 wounds, and it looks like Onyx is going to go down with a serious injury. And we will then roll up an initiative check, which will be passed, and he will not fall any further. Now up underneath, we do have one more Hiver to roll for, and on a 5, they become broken, so we move them appropriately. And then back over to the Enforcers, and I've got Fury trying to chase down Snake Eyes here, making a double move. Shadow struggles to his feet, fires his web pistol at Hawk just out of range. We roll the firepower dice, no ammo check is required. And then back over to Spades, uses his first action to move, his second action to fire his Enforcer bolt gun. Short range, but cover, so this will hit on a 4. You get a +1, -1 to this roll, and those dice go out, and that is going to strike him. And Strength 4, Toughness 3 puts it on 3s to wound, which is good. Mesh Armor providing a 5-up save, but the Enforcer bolt gun's AP -1, so a 6 is required. And that save will be failed, so 2 damage, 2 injury dice rolled out here. He goes down with a serious injury and takes a flesh wound. We then roll for Hivers within 12 inches of that shot. There'll be no action on this one. Back over to House Delaque, and we've got Midnight. He is going to use his first action to move, and his second action will be to fire his auto pistol at nearby Big Chungus. They're both within 1 inch of the barrier here, so there's no cover given. He normally hits on a 5 short range, takes that to a 4, and that will strike the target, and it is rapid fire. So that is 2 hits that go through, and it is Strength 3 against Toughness 3. Needing 4s on the dice here, those shots go out, and those will do wounds. The armor save has failed, needing 5s, flak armor, and an armored undersuit. One of those is passed, so 1 injury dice will be rolled out as 1 did go through, and Big Chungus going down with a serious injury. And we're going to roll up for the Hivers that are close by here. This one will do nothing. The other Hivers are already broken. So back over to the Enforcers, Captain Solidus will get to his feet. He is going to fire his Enforcer bolt gun up at Raven. He did improve his weapon skill or his ballistic skill to a 3. The full cover, however, makes this a 5 in order to hit. Short range on that takes it back to a 4, but the shot will still miss. And then for House Delaque, it looks like Stretch, the Rogue Doc, is just going to move back a little bit, trying to stay out of the action, and that brings us to the end of turn 1. So we knew this was going to be heavy right out of the gate with the proximity that the fighters started, and the Enforcers did lose 2 time, and House Delaque losing Severus. Several fighters are down injured, others are down pinned, and in the end phase, we are going to roll up and see what happens. All right, bottle checks going out. Both crews started with 7. House Delaque is up first, and they roll up a 6. That is going to be more than 7. House Delaque is going to bottle. Rolling for the Enforcers, a 2. They will be just fine. And now moving to recovery rolls. First for Onyx. Looks like he is going to stay down with a serious injury. We then move across the board and take a recovery test for Shadow, and it looks like he will stay down with a serious injury as well. Over for the Enforcers, a recovery test from Big Chungus, and rolling that out for him, he is out of action. And rolling up on the D66, that is going to be a 1-3-13. He will be out cold. And gearing up for turn 2, we rally Hivers that pass their cool check, and we move to priority rolls. The Enforcers with a 2, the House of Shadows will be up for turn 2. Cool checks going out in the action phase. We start with Raven. Most of these guys will need 6s to stick around. Raven is good. Snake Eyes over on the flank also needing a 6, and he is good as well. The Rogue Doc Stretch, she needs an 8 in order to stick around, and that will fail, so she flees the battlefield. We then roll for Shadow, another Ganger, who needs a 6 in order to stay in the game, and he will do so. And then we are going to roll for the Juve Midnight, who needs a 7, and he's going to be good as well. And then we'll roll up one more for Onyx, needing a 6, and he is good. Okay, first action to the House of Shadows. Raven trying to put Captain Solidus out of his misery. Did 1 wound to him last time. Once again, targeting him with his long rifle. He does aim first. There's no cover here. That will take this down to a 2 in order to hit, and that shot will easily connect on this 6. Strength 4, Toughness 3. A 3 is needed to wound. That will do a wound. So it will be a 6-up save, AP -1, and the Armored Undersuit saves Captain Solidus. And rolling up for a nearby Hiver there up top, no action will be taken. The rest around that heard that shot are broken, and we play that if they're broken, they just stayed broken. Back to the Enforcers, and Fury is going to announce a charge into Snake Eyes, and I got this rule wrong. I only play that he gets one shot from his stub gun when he should have gotten +1 for the charge being an unarmed attack. But very risky maneuver here. He goes in, he gets one shot from his stub gun the way that we played it. He is going to hit, needing a 4. And then strength 3, toughness 3, a 4 would be needed to wound. He lands a wound. Mesh armor is a 5-up save. That is failed, takes him down to 0 wounds. So an injury die is rolled out and he goes out of action. So a bold charge from Fury leads to a D66 roll on Snake Eyes, and a 53 is going to be a hand injury. And we go back over to the House of Shadows, and we've got the Juve Midnight moving twice, trying to get the hell out of here. Hawk then activates next for the Enforcers, attempts to reload his sniper rifle, and he is going to do so on a 4-up. He is then going to take a shot at Raven, who is the other sniper, and Dancing Shadows being played here. Delaque's tactics card has to pass an intelligence check. He fails, and he will not be able to take that shot. His activation ends. Over to the Dark Syndicate, Shadow will crawl, getting into cover. This will make him untargetable from long range. And then Spades attempts to activate and move. Over here being played by Delaque, and he is getting moved backwards. Cue Ball then stands, makes a 5-inch move toward Onyx, who just stays put. Captain Solidus stands up, makes a shot up at Raven, and misses. And that brings us to the end of turn 2, and what will be the end of the game as the House of Shadows, the Dark Syndicate, House Delaque, they are really down fighters at this point and just do not have a whole lot left to continue this game. We are going to officially wrap up the turn. Onyx takes a recovery test, staying down with a serious injury. Over on the opposite flank, Shadow will take a recovery test as well, and he is going to roll back over with a flesh wound. The Enforcers also take a bottle test. They have 2 fighters that are out, and a 4 is going to be a 6. That is not greater than their starting crew of 7, so they have still yet to bottle. With the Dark Syndicate fleeing the battlefield, we will roll for Onyx here. On a 1 or a 2, he succumbs to his injuries, and he does get up and make it off the battlefield. But the Vanguard Enforcers are going to take a victory today over the Dark Syndicate. And welcome to the post-game where Enforcer fans are rejoicing. This was a quick game between these two. The Vanguard Enforcers improved to 2-2, while the Dark Syndicate falls to 3-1. We knew this was going to be a fast game, as in deployment you could drop down anywhere on the battlefield 6 inches away from friend or foe. This limited group activations and really made fighters up in your face very quickly. I thought House Delaque was going to do what they normally do, but I think there was a bit of a lapse on the tactics cards. Ideally, Dancing Shadows, where you have to pass the intelligence check, should have been played against the crack grenade fired from Cue Ball early on. He did miss that shot, and the Enforcers had to play Lucky Shot in order to make it hit, but that was a very risky shot with a 2 damage AP-2 weapon. So the Enforcers did what they needed to, and they swung the game in their favor, and it's a big win for them, and this has officially opened the campaign back up. I will say that House Delaque did not get any favors when a Hiver seriously injures one of your gangers, and also your leader as well as one of your champions with 2 fletchet pistols doesn't make it into the lineup, and you get a rogue doc. That was certainly a handicap for them. The Enforcers will take the Ash Gate and police the territory, gaining +2 reputation. They will also gain +5 reputation from the scenario for a total of 7 and 60 credits this week. The Dark Syndicate will gain +1 rep from the scenario, as they did not kill any Hivers, and they will get 110 credits from territories. Both sides had some casualties in this one. The rookie 2-time took a bullet to the head and was found dead. The other rookie, Big Chungus, was found out cold and was able to rejoin his unit. The Dark Syndicate lost Severus in this one with a grievous injury as he was hit by a crack explosion. Snake Eyes received a hand injury after going down to Fury. There will be a lot of XP distributed in this one, and the man of the match can go to Cue Ball or Fury. I ended up giving it to Cue Ball with his well-placed crack grenade shot. I just felt like it really set the tone for the rest of his men to follow. Thank you once again for watching this episode of Shadows of Primus. Also, a big thank you to the 2021 Coffee Supporters Club, our newest supporters, Stuart M. and Nate S. You'll find your markings on the Hive walls. If you would like to buy me a coffee or some other frothy beverage, a link will be in the description. You can also follow me on Instagram for sneak peeks of this content and anything else that we have upcoming. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the darkest corners of the Underhive.